Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. So today in our video, I am going to be trying out these silicone bands for sublimation. So as we know, there are lots of ways that you can sublimate 20-ounce tumblers in your convection oven. And they work sometimes and sometimes they don't work. But such is the nature of sublimating tumblers. No matter how many you do, every time you do one, you really wonder, is this one gonna work out? So in the past, I mainly sublimated using the Subli shrink wrap. Now this has worked well for me a lot of the times, but some of the times I do end up with having my white spots. Having white spots on my tumbler at the top and a lot of times at the bottom as well. So that can be really frustrating whether you've been doing tumblers for a long time or you've just started. So I've been looking for different ways to help me to eliminate that problem, lower my stress levels when it comes to sublimating tumblers, and to get a good sublimation. I did see these silicone sleeves that went right around, and I thought this must be it. This is gonna save the day. So apart from it being quite difficult to put onto your tumbler, I realized that it didn't go all the way up. Now, based on what I've seen from using this, the silicone wrap is actually designed to expand with heat. And so once I've placed that in the tumbler, I notice it actually does expand and cover the top. However, when it covered the top, what I found was that it became very loose at the end here, and then I still did not end up with enough pressure at the bottom. So I would say this worked some of the times. Most of the times I actually did not get a good transfer with these. So I kind of put these to the side. So I decided to try something new, these silicone bands, to see if this is gonna make the difference. So if these work out well, I think that it would be a pretty easy process. The process would be quite easy. It's simply to print your design on your sublimation paper, give your tumbler a really good wrap, and then you put one of these bands at the top and one at the bottom, and you put one in the center. So these bands at the top should give my tumbler enough pressure to eliminate those white spots. So we're gonna try it out today. Fingers crossed. I really hope it works. So let's try it out. So let's get our tumbler cleaned up. And the design that we're going to be using today comes from Design Bundles. It's going to be another one of my Jamaican images. So if you're thinking, please stop with the Jamaican images, we're going to do that. I just saw this one and thought it was really nice and I wanted to go ahead and use it. For all my designs, I like to leave a bit of that white edge on the bottom so that it gives me enough room to bend the design over the bottom without the design actually bending, because I find that I get a lot of white spots on my edges whenever my design goes over this rounded edge. And start wrapping. We're going to pull our design as tight as possible, and we're going to go ahead and tape everything down very well. So I love this tape dispenser. I found it on Amazon. edge of my tumbler. So hopefully I've managed to prevent getting any white spots. And the bottom. So this is the point where we would usually get out either our shrink wrap or we will get our sublimation sleeve and get it ready for the oven. So instead of using a shrink wrap where you will need a heat gun, although I have seen Christine from Design Bundles just go ahead and put this in her shrink wrap and stick it in the oven, and then in the oven the shrink wrap will shrink around the tumbler, and that turns out really great for bands. So we're gonna need 3 of them, and this is from the brand Armir. And so what we're going to do is these troubled areas that we have, we're going to secure them. So let's go ahead. They are pretty tight. You can stretch them to get where you want to go, but they are pretty tight. So let's go ahead and set this one down in the middle of our tumbler. So we're at our oven and we're all ready to go. We have our temperature gauges inside, and that lets us know that we're ready to go. We've got our timer. It's set to 4 minutes. So we're just going to put it in, and then we are going to rotate after 2 minutes. Okay, so this is what it looks like. No shrink wrap, no sleeve, just our sublimation paper and our 3 silicone bands. So we're going to put this right in the center, the 2-minute mark, and I am just going to rotate it so that my tape goes all the way to the back. So I'm rotating it because my temperature gauges are showing me that the back of the oven is hotter than the front, and I want to get that even heat across the tumbler. So let's switch this off. And we're ready to go. Okay, so we're out of the oven, and I have to admit I am nervous. So let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. So all we need to do, very, very easy to release all of this. All we need to do is take it off. So no tearing away of the shrink wrap. Sometimes that shrink wrap gets really hot and sticks to the tumbler. And with using the shrink wrap, sometimes I have done the method where I dip it in cold water in order to shock that shrink wrap away from the tumbler, and then it will be easy to rip off. But for this method, the hardest part of this method is getting off this middle one, because we need to basically shimmy it down to the edge. So now that I've gotten a good grip on it, let's just pull that. There we go. We just pull that off. And this is the hardest part of this method. But other than that, super easy. So now we are going to take off the wrap. Fingers crossed. Right. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Let's switch off the ring light so you can see better. Here is our tumbler. And our top is pretty good. We're doing a close-up of the top. We can see that we had a really good transfer, no white spots. So let's look around. So let's get to the bottom of the tumbler. So right at this point, I have a really nice and clean transfer. So I have these two spots here. They look like perhaps I did have 1 and 2 kinks in my paper when I folded it over. So I'm not gonna blame the rings for that. But look at the rest of the tumbler. Look at the body of the tumbler. All techniques that I have tried, I have had similar. I've had mixed results. Sometimes it's perfect. Sometimes you have these little mistakes. Sublimation tumblers, they're just really funny like that. But I think, all in all, I think this product is no less than any other product that's out there. Is it the savior of tumblers? Maybe, maybe not. I am going to use it some more because I really did like it and I love the simplicity of it. All I had to do was add my sublimation paper, tape it down really well, put a band at the top, a band in the middle, and a band at the bottom. It saves me on the process of having to get a heat gun to shrink down that sublim wrap before putting it in the oven. So all in all, I do like these bands. I do like it. I think it was worth the $8.80 for the 6 of them. I can do 2 tumblers. And as I said, I think it's really a simple process. So if you like this method, put a red heart in the comment. Let me know if you have any tips and tricks for getting a really good transfer on these 20-ounce tumblers. I would love to know, and I'm sure everyone else in the community would love to know. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the red subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm here every week with a new video, and you don't want to miss them. I have some really great videos planned. So see you in the next one.